Hello and welcome to a SMURP video, and today we're looking at Exceptional X-Men issue 6. We have the cast of characters here, written by Ewing, artist Carmen, Carnero, Nolan Woodard, VC's Travis Lanham, and hopefully I haven't got any names wrong. I probably have because, well, I do it quite often. So our team begin with a usual training session, and then after a great session, they get hungry. Now, these kids, so Emma automatically goes to ordering things. However, the kids say, no, we've decided to bring in snacks because they feel perhaps a bit weirded out about relying on somebody like Emma Frost because maybe she's a little bit inappropriate, considered an inappropriate adult, maybe, to them from their eyes, and they want a little bit of independence. So they're going to try and get jobs, and they're going to try and get jobs together. Oh, and guess what? There's an internship where they all can work together. Convenient. Absolutely convenient. Now, they've literally just begun. They are going to be sort of consultants around this app that we heard in the last issue called Verate. And basically what they want is their view because they are young, and perhaps this app is going to apply to young people as well. So meet Xenos, our new character who runs Verate, and they start talking about this, and he's going to give them a sort of brief and talk them through I guess what he requires from them as consultancies. However, they, like young people sometimes do, automatically come in by saying, well, that seems planned, and why don't you just tell us what your goals are? That's what a brief does. So I like it's an interesting dynamic, remembering that they are children and how they apply in the real world. And he talks about what he wants in terms of helping people. Now that means helping people with multiple things that are in the real world. We have a lot of stuff going on social media that probably I'm gonna be careful about what I say, messes with people's heads. People get this perceived notion of how they should look, and it's been like that since probably the dawn of time. How we should look, how we should behave, how we should eat, how we should date, how we should do everything. It's all out there. And then at the same time we have BU, mental health, and it's all shoved down us. And what he's creating is an app which I'm not surprised that there's probably an app out there like this called Verate. Maybe it's promoting that. There probably is an app about trying to help people with these things, as well as the big fact perhaps being a mutant and looking like this, because he's always looked like this. So people are sending in their DNA, and he is gathering that information from a sub level to be able to understand them and perhaps help them, because as much as you get, if you do this you will lose all this weight, we are all different in our body physiques. Naturally our physiques are all different, so there is not one shoe that fits all anyway, regardless. And also there's the other element of helping people socialize. Probably one of the biggest problems, and I might upset a few people with society, is we spend a lot of times on our phones, on social media, and we start not seeing what the real world is. Or we go out into the real world, we're recording everything. Just go out and have a meal, talk, no phones. That's so there's a bit of that perhaps discussed in this as well, because people don't build up the social skills to actually have the talk. So they're going to have a meeting because they start thinking, oh my goodness, they're taking DNA and it feels a bit weird. Whereas our young man, Jan, I can't say his name, actually identifies with Xenos because of he's always looked like this. So he's constantly already been picked off. So he is generally comfortable about being in this, even though the other two have objections about them sort of preying on people's insecurities. These insecurities are going to be there. So, you know, if there's an app that sort of helps people get to where they want, is it such a bad deal? Maybe, maybe not. We will find out. You know, I've never had an X-Men story where an app was perhaps the catalyst of a villain's story. So he meets with the young man, and he almost forgets his tablet. And Xenos is interested in his future and graduating. And oh look, they get it randomly in the park: phones, wallets. So a giant Sandro does what he does best, and then he says, "What do you hate?" And all of a sudden it was, we were meant to just do a few robberies to get a quick car. Then we got a car, and we're still doing this. And then they apologize, and they're gonna go back and do their goals and stuff. It seems very, very bizarre, but it's there. It's happened, and we've almost got the who the villain of the piece is already, which is annoying because we want to be surprised sometimes, but we're not. So another thing with Sandro, I can't say his name at all, apologies, and it's early, I haven't had enough coffee, is his little sister suffers from some form of attacks, which is difficult. So Kitty Pryde has a nice day, and remember, this story of Exceptional X-Men started around Kitty Pryde trying to be normal, and she asks, can we be normal, or are we just poison? Are we just poisoning those around us? And White Queen, quite rightly, it says, I'm not the right person to ask that. She knows her faults, and she knows her weaknesses, and she knows when she is not necessarily bad, because she wants to do some good, but she sort of manipulates it to suit herself. So they start getting into it about the app, and how perhaps taking people's DNA can help with people with cancer, asthma, problems in the real world, and also the fact that he gets it because Xenos is exactly like me. He is a mutant. So they start arguing about it, and Kitty Pryde starts saying to him that, not all mutants are good. And then he says, yeah, you've been trying to teach us that it's dangerous, but have you ever thought that you've been hanging around the bad guys? I'm not sure if he's insinuating to White Queen, but let's remember, when they're on Krakoa, they were all in it. It was bad guys, villains, evildoers, good guys, and some good guys do some bad things as well. We've seen Wolverine multiple times kill people, right? You may argue that they're bad people, but how many times he's killed innocent people? He's probably killed some. Kitty Pryde had to kill people. So maybe rather than being paranoid, we should, maybe just listen, and, it will be a good thing, etc. However, by the end of the issue, we find out that Xenos actually hired this young couple or workers to go and do what they did, to sort of influence Xandro. And you can obviously see the sort of, apologies, goatee, etc. So giving us a hint that perhaps this is Mr. Sinister, because obviously it's on the front cover, which is a little bit annoying. I like a little surprise. Come on, Marvel. Don't reveal all your tricks all at once. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll get to the next issue and it'll be like, hey, it's not what you think. So, Exceptional X-Men at the end. Then we got X-Men Hunt, and I'm finally caught up with Exceptional X-Men. So, hopefully I'm ready to grab X-Force, which is part 6, and Exceptional X-Men 7. Usually they're on their way by now in the post, but no, nothing. I think perhaps there's been a delay, which is a little bit disappointing from my perspective, because I was on a roll. Things were quite smooth in terms of how I was rolling out these comic videos, talking through the issue. So I thought that was a great issue. Lots of issues in terms of different aspects that actually apply to society. Sometimes I prefer it to all be unreal, because I do sometimes I try to be careful about my opinions, but my opinions are my opinions. I will give them, and I have done on this issue before when they did pronouns. You know, I certainly am not afraid to say what I think, and we all have our opinions, and they can be different, and we can debate them, and that's quite a healthy thing in the world. So anyway, I hope you like my video. If you do, please do support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. And embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.